live on YouTube. Are we live on YouTube? Live on Facebook? Live. 7. Yeah. All right. All right. Am I jump? All right. Yeah. Imagine, Napanya Kodam, notice this. Alright, you know, pray in the first. Abanawa. Shabashimaya. Kadash. Ayah. Shamka. Yahweh. Malapaka. Taba'a. Ratizaka. Ayah. Aisha. Baratiza. Kawa. Ayah. Mashimaya. Wataninawa. Lakam. Ka. Yawam. Wasalakno. Lawakno. Wasalakno. Kawakino. Wala'a. Tabaino. Balasayawan. Abol. Oshino. Mayan. Rai. Aya. Laka. Amalakwa. Wa'ala. Zaparak. Walamia. Aman. What we just said, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive our debts, and we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thy is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen. This Akat Yahweh, Hashem, Oshai, Beshah, Natananoah, Akat, Afa, Kamakala, Kamarawan, Akat, Ata, Batmuzarium, Akat, Aquayam, Matayam, Akat, Ayakawas, Asmala, Nagarishun, Bashem, Oshai, Tawadaman.
We just said in the English was Lord.
Lord,
in the name of Yahushua,
please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse lepers.
The power to cleanse lepers.
The power to raise the
The power to
dead.
raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
Cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
All right.
We want to say that blessed Israel, Yahweh, Bashem, Oshai, Noah, Rashala, Abayat, Zaparium, Barak, Magan, Bashem, Oshai, Wadalman.
What you just said was, Lord.
Lord.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield. Protect.
Protect.
Our loved ones.
Our loved ones.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it. We say Psalm 121. Ashaya,
Ayanya,
Ahayoyam, Mayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Mayam, Yahweh, Ashaya, Aisha, Shamayam, Waratiza, Ayatan, Lamawat, Wagalka, Alyanawam, Shamalka, Ana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yashashan, Shawama, Yashala, Yahweh, Shamalka, Yahweh, Zalka, Idiyad, Yamyanka, Yamomam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakalka, Wayarak,
Bayala, Yahweh, Yasamaka, Makalrai, Yasama, Atnapaska, Yahweh, Yasama, Tazalka, Wabawaka, Maita, Waib, I will. In the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Most High, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot. To be moved. He that keepeth thee. Will not slumber. Behold. He that keepeth Israel. Shall neither slumber. Nor sleep. The Most High is thy keeper. The Most High is thy shade. Upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. The Most High shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Most High shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth, and even forevermore. All right, Psalm 83 in the Hebrew. All right. So now a minute. Alahayim. Al the Mayalaka. Al the Karash. Wow. Tashukwat. Al Kayahana. Awayabyaka. Yahamayawan. I Oma Shana. Yaka. Nashawa. Rash. I Lamaka. I Yamua. Sawad. Waya. Taya Aita Zawa. Wa Alta Sapawanyaka. Amawa. Nakawa. Nakakidam. Magaya. Wala. Yasaka. Shamya Shalal. Aywa. Kaya. Nawa Aita Zawa. Lam. Yakarwa. Ailaka. Baria. Yakaratwa. Ahalia. Adawam. Wa Yashama. Ma'ai Alahayim. Mawa'aba. Wahagariam. Gabal. Wa'ai Malak. Malasha. I'm a Shabia. Tazawa. Damashawa. Nalawa. Imam. Ayawa. Sarawai. Banilawat. Salah. Aishalaham. Kamadian. Kasayara. Kayabian. Nakahal. Wayashwa. Nasamadwa. Ba'ayandara. Hayawa. The man. La Adama. Shayatamo. Nadayamawa. Ta'irab. Wakazaaba. Wakazalaman. Tazal Manai. Kala Sayakamwa. Sayakamwa. Asha. Amawa. Nairasha. Nanawa. At. Nawat. Alahayam. Alahaya. Shayatamo. Kagalgala. Kakwash. Kapanyarawa. Kaash. Taba Ira. Wakalahaba. Kalahat. Ariyam. Kantaradapma. Basairaka. Abasa. Fatka. Tabahalam. Malaa. Panyaham. Walawan. Oyaba Kwashwa. Shamka. Yahawa. Yabashwa. Oyaba Bahalo. Ayai. Oyaka Power. Oya. Abadwa. Oya. Aiwa. Kaya, Ata, Shamka, Yahweh, Allah, Labadka, I.S.U.P.K, I.S.U.P.K, Aratasa. Psalm 3, what we just said, keep not no silence.
Keep not thou silence.
O Most High, hold not thy peace. And be not still. O Most High, for lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee, and lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come let us cut them off from being a nation. In the name of Israel, there be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They have conferred it against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, and of Moab, and the Hagarenes, the Baal, and Ammon, and Amalek, and the Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre. I.S.U.P.K is also joined with them. They are caught in the train of blood. Salah, do unto them, as unto the Midianites. As to Sisera, as to the Jabin, and the book of Kisan, which perished at Endor, they became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like a reb. Like that. Yea, all the princes of Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the Most High, in possession, who my power, make them like a wheel, and the stubble before the wind, the fire burneth the wood, and the flame set the mountains on fire. So persecute them, thy tempest, and make them afraid, with thy storm, fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Most High. Let them be confounded, and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame, and perish, that men may know that thou, Him alone, is Yahweh, and the Most High, over all the earth.
All right. All right, yes, bien. Oh no. Go on again. 1 second. Should be with us 1 minute. So I should look at anything. So reading from Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 28, continuing from the Sabbath service last week. Right. So that's 1 minute, Babusha. All right. Begin to read shortly. Listen, you too. Okay. Okay, let's go like this one. Let's go. Let's go. That's cool. Leviticus 18 and 28. What he was saying. We send it Sabbath and 27. Yeah, let's do that. Right? Right? Leviticus verse 28, right? Wala takwaya ha arataza atakam bata ma'akam ata ta asha kwa at agawaya agawaya asha lapan yakam. Verse 29. Kaya Kal Asha ya Aisha Makal Ata wa Aiba Ta'alaha wa na kaya karatawa hana pashawa salafia Aisha makwa raba Imam verse 30 washa maratham Mashama Rathaya. Mashama Rathaya. Right? Laba Rathaya. Aishawa. Maka Kawat. Yeah, Maka Kawat. Ata wa ai ba Asha na ai Shawa. Lapan Yakam. Wala Ta Tama Awa. Ta Tamawa. Salakia. Baham. Anya. Yahweh. Alahayam. Salakia. Allah Hayakam. Right? Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 1. Waya Daba Yahweh Al Masha. Verse 2. Daba Al Kal Aida Banya Shala Salakia. Wa Mara Alaham Pada Sayam Taha Yawa Kaya Quadawam Salakia. Quadash. No, it's Quad, yeah. Quadaw. Yeah, Quadaw. Quadawash. It could be Quadawasha, but most likely any Quadawash. Be better at the end. And yeah, Yahweh. Allah Hayakam. Verse 3. Ayash. Amawa. Wa Bayawa. Taya Ra'awa. Wa'aka. Shabbat Tataya. Wabat Taya. Salakia. Tashama Rawa. Anya Yahweh Alayakam. Verse 4. Tapanawa. Ha Allah Yalam. Salakia. Wa Alahaya. Masaka La'a Ta'ai Shawa Lakam Lakam or Lakaman. And Yahweh Allah Hayakam. Verse 5. Wakaya Ka Sabbath Wa Sabbath Shalamayam La Yahweh La Arat La Yeah. La Ra Taza Nakam. La Ra Taza Nakam. Right? The Sabbath Awa. Verse 6. What should I read? What do you have? Lines and verses supposed to be at 4. So last year. Reading from verse 4. I mean from Leviticus 28 and chapter 18 and verse 28 down to Leviticus 19 and 4. So last year. Yeah.
Leviticus chapter 18 and verse 28. That the land spew not you out also when you defile it, as it is spewed out the nations that were before you. Verse 29. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the soul that commit them, shall be cut off from among the people. Verse 30. Therefore shall you keep my ordinances, that you may commit not any one of these abominable customs which were committed before you, and that you defile not yourself therein. I am the Most High, your power.
Hey, just a pause for a minute, right? Just continuing on from what the other one you must say last week, right? This particular chapter here, let's talk about a lot of stuff they were doing in Egypt. So the Lord now re-educating the children of Israel now to help them to make sure that they understand that these things is not to do in no way, shape, and form. Because I was thinking about it now. Like how they know in America, how they preach everything on the TV now. They go to a party, they get drunk and out there head because it make it look like a real nice time. But when you're out there, since every one of these acts will commit number. You know what I mean? So when you're smoking on the opium and the thing and this and hookah and all of that, you have no chance to even see that all the different things in them is what they really want to involve in. Like how they talk about now this mystery Babylon. Like how you understand they make it look like so happy and all that, but it's already a mystery because they're beginning to find out how come they operate in this kind of way now? Why is it having all this destruction in the black community and on the earth it has so much corruption? America has so much money and all these different things now. Because they're making you commit the same abominable acts and that is destroying the fabric of our society, the fabric of our people now. You know what I mean? So when I see that, like, yeah, boy, damn, boy, for real, eh? And look how they show it real easy, you know what I mean, on the TV and all that, make it look things, so you know what I mean, pumping. And that time they committing real things and just to make you, shift off your axis then, you know what I mean? And your mental all caught up. Yeah, see, say good night, I say most time guys for real. Yeah, the most I can't remember, I think it's GEN.YAHANNA, maybe in a class was breaking it down, like you're saying, wisdom is the ability to see things ahead of time, not to know the end result of something. You know what I mean? Before that happens. So now the Lord showing me the wisdom and leaving the records then for us to see what would be the end result if you end up taking part in this. So I want to make sure it's clean. Understand this thing abominable, I hate it. You understand what I passion because I know what happened in the end. The end result right now, you know? Let's see. So those times guys for real. I something to be thankful for, you know what I mean? And the Lord preserve them records and have a true command in GEN.YAHANNA and these brothers, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's to keep the earth, clean that up. Yeah. Very true. Yeah, but a slap, yeah, you know? Oh, unless you want to add anything.
No. Not worried on like that.
Alright, not sure.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, verse 2, speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, you shall be holy, for I, the Most High, your power, am holy. Verse 3, you shall fear every man his mother and his father, and keep my Sabbath. I am the Most High, your power. Verse 4, turn you not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten gods. I am the Lord your power.
Alright, that's it? And that was 4?
Come.
Alright. So like I said, you want to be invited to the table, Mama? I can't follow the next piece. Cancel. Cancel, alright. But cancel. Yeah, we just not finished reading the English. Just not reading Hebrew before. That's right. Yeah. No, sir. So I end the bar. Very next question. Yes, sir. All right. Hey, Majam. Stand. You bring that bread here. Let's stand and teach that, brother. Yeah, man. It's a lucky soul. Nice. All right. All right. All right. Next, Chris.
Yakar, ban yam yam, ban yashal.
Yakar, ban yam yam, ban yashal.
Yawa Hashem Yashem Bakata.
Yawa Hashem Yashem Bakata. Right. That's not something else. Temporary. Right. Lock this in. Right. Yeah, that's it. Let's go.
Shalia, je me suis seated. YouTube on the come, right?
Yes, sir.
And we so we're on from, right?
Okay. No, it was set to that up. I will start with this connection. I know one Facebook on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. But just in the shoe back. We just start. YouTube, we just set
Yeah, but you can't say it. Yeah, this one. I mean, beginning this is now. That's
you want to leave or you want to leave?
Can't say it. I'll leave it. All right. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 5. Lock me up there. Right. Wa kaya ta zabak wa zabak shala mayam la Yahweh la rataza nakam taza ta zabak awa verse 6 ba yawam sabak kama salak ya akal wa mama ka yes correct can't say it wa anna watara I yawam shala ya yashaya salakia Baash Ya, Ya, Sharab, Yasharab. Verse 7. Ama, Akala, Ya, Akala, Ba Ya, Tama, Shalaya, Shaya, Wala, Salaki. Hawa, La'a, Yara, Taza'a, verse 8. Wa'a, Kala, Yawa, Iwa, Nawa, Yasha, Kaya, Dash, Yahweh, Kalala, Wana, Tara, Taya, Taha, Salakia. Anna, Anapash, Salakia. Aha, Ha'awa'a. Ma'ai, Mayaha, Yaha, verse 9. Waba, Taza, Rakam, Taza, Yara, Taza, Yara, Salakia. Aratazakam, La'a, Taka, Laha, Fa'at, Fa'ata, Salakia. Shadak, La, Tazara, Lakwata, Salakia. Taza, Yaraka, La'a, Tala, Pata, verse 10. Kara, Maka, La'a, Ta'ai Walala, Paparata, Kara, Maka, La'a, Tala, Pata, La'ai, Naya, Gora, Ta'ai Zaba, Atham, Anya, Yahweh, Alahayakam, verse 11. La'a, Kaga, Nabawa, Wala'a, Taka, Ashawa, Wala'a, Tasha, Parawa, Ayash, Ba'ai, Maya, Tawa, verse 12. Wala'a, Tasha, Ba'aiwa, Bashama, Bashamya, Lasha, Ora, Wakak, Lala, oh, Slake, Wa, Kha, Kala, La, A, Sham, Alahayaka, Anya, Yahweh. Yes, sir. And number 19, 5 to 12. That's from 5 to 12. 7 is right? Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 5. And if you offer a sacrifice of peace offering unto the Most High, you shall offer it at your own will. Verse 6, it shall be eaten the same day of you offer it, and on the morrow, if aught remain until the third day, it shall be burnt in the fire. Verse 7, and if it be eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable, it shall not be accepted. Verse 8, therefore every one that eateth it shall bear his iniquity, because he had profaned the hallowed thing of the Most High, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people. Verse 9, and when you reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field.
What's like it? Thou shalt not wholly, like the whole thing, wholly. Yeah.
Neither shalt thou gather the cleansing of thy harvest. Verse 10, and thou shalt not cleanse thy vineyard.
Clean. Yeah, clean. Yeah, clean. Clean out everything now. Yeah.
Right. And thou shalt not clean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and the stranger. I am the Most High your power. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 11. You shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. Verse 12. And you shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shalt thou in the name of the Most High thy power. I am the Lord. I am the Most High.
Christ. Once again, you see in verse 18 and Leviticus 19, just really going back over, all the rules basically, right? Because all these rules and all these laws from Genesis come right up, but especially when you come to Exodus and Leviticus, really dealing with brotherhood, right? Dealing with brotherhood and dealing with all the issues that will come up, and dealing with us in a way that how we should treat and deal with each other. And in keeping the law is a protection for yourself and is a protection also for your brother. So this is where the scriptures, as it goes in. For example, in verse 6, they say, verse 5, if you just piggyback on there, if thou offer a sacrifice of a peace offering unto the Lord, you shall offer it at your own will, right? So it's a peace offering, you have something extra you want to give to the temple, you can go ahead and do that. Right? It says it shall be eaten the same day ye offer it, and on the morrow, if aught remain until the third day, it shall be burnt with fire. Right? And verse 8 says, therefore everyone that eateth it shall bear his iniquity, because he hath profaned the hallowed thing of the Lord. That soul shall be cut off from among his people. Again, a lot of people doesn't understand. So you can make a sacrifice on the first day, you can eat it on the second day, but when it's the third day, don't eat it. Discard it. And there's many reasons for it. I mean, as the scripture said, it's a hollow thing, it's something separate unto the Lord.
But not with that, you don't want to look at the science of it. Back then, it had no refrigerator. Right. When you cook a particular meal or meat, right, it would last a particular time period. If it passed that time, then it would go into spoil or rotten. That's why the scripture says he will bear his iniquity. He that you get sick, and his sin will be eaten and dying. Because of this, eating this meat beyond the time subscribed. So there's a lot of things that
Good. So like if I may add to it, because that beautiful way of saying it, and also that protection for the next person too, not to have that habit then. At being careless with certain things, so through that way, make sure you take care of each other too. And then next thing too, but not just like growing up sometime. I know we probably experience the same thing, right? Grandparents are, especially grandfathers, and I wanna stay in food. Not treat their food and all that.
That's right.
What's the respect behind it now?
All this is again in the scriptures for our learning. Yeah. Everything is a protection of us as we go to the scriptures. And again, everything dealing with the brotherhood, dealing with the issues that we want to get back there.
Yeah, but
you want to look at this line says when you reap your harvest, not reaping the corners of your field. Right. And again, that is about to provide for those who may not be able to provide everyone who might be able to eat something. Right? Not everybody have the means to really go on, work on, for whatever reason, it's going to be poor. Right. So with that now, with you not reaping everything of your land, somebody who's not as fortunate, as fortunate to be able to come and get something to eat. And I talk about being the widow and the vineyard. Verse 10 says, "Thou shalt not glean the vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor," as it says, "and to the stranger." Right? It says, "I am the Lord your God." And the stranger here not talking about another nation. The stranger talking about one of your brothers who may come from another tribe, who may come from another land, you might be visiting, you might be working, but he's a stranger to you. Just like I'm here in Trinidad, and a brother from the US comes down, he is a stranger to me, but he's still my brother.
Like it. Just to add on to what you're saying too, because last week I was touching on that. Like if you come from Ruben,
That's right.
but I come through, that's the same vibe now, He come through, he might be hungry, he might not, but at least you could probably see something on the tree. So the Lord showing you the spirit not to be agreeing, not to be on money all the time now,
That's right.
So don't hold up everything. Leave something on the tree. So just in case somebody might have a need for something, they can grab some on the tree and there could be no sweat, right?
Yeah. And then the spirit of brotherhood, that is something that used to be really son and most of the even brothers in the Caribbean, right? If you have a stranger come down, you would always make room. Yeah. You have a space in your house. Yes. Right? And that was something that you would always have. If you cook something, you have some extra. Yeah. Just in case. There are different traits that our forefathers had, and we learn over time. And again, because of this system, we have lost that sense of brotherhood. Yeah. One for another. And because of that, everything that,
Right.
can happen.
That's it.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, Mr. Christ. That's what we're going to do next.
That's it.
Bump shot.
For sure.
If you want, you could.
Yeah, for sure. That's it. Yeah.
So, like, if you want to try the seat, yeah, so
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 13. I.S.U.P.K. Ata, Ra'aita, Wala'a, Tagazal, La'a, Talayan, Fa'ailath, Shakayar, Ataka, Aida, Bakwa, verse 14, La'a, Takwala, Karash, Walapanya, I.W.A.R, La'a, Fathan, Makalash, Salakia, Makashal, Wayara Atha, Mala'a, Salakia, Ma'ala, Ayaka, Anaya, Yahweh, verse 15, La'a, Ta'aishawa, Iwala, Bamashapa, Salakia, Bama Shapa, La'a, Tasha'a, Konya, Dela, Wala'a, Tahada, Konya, Gadawal, Batazakwa, Salakia, Batazadakwa, Tashapat, Aimaya Taka, verse 16, La'a, Talak, Rakiyal, Ba'ai Mayaka, La'a, Ta'aimat, I, Dam, Ra'aika, Aniyah, Yahweh, verse 17, La'a, Tasha'aina, Atha, Kayaka, Balaba, Baka, Hawakaka, Tawa'a, Salaka, Tawaka, Yaka, Atha, Aimaya, Taka, Wala'a, Tasha'a, Alayawa, Kata'a, verse 18, La'a, Takwam, Wala'a, Tatara, Ata, Banya, Aimaka, Wa'a, Salaka, Wa'ahaba, La'aika, Kamawaka, Anaya, Yahweh, verse 19, Ata, Kakwathea, Tashai Ma'a, Rawa, Baha, Salakia, Bahamathka, La'a, Karaba'ai, Salakia, Karaba'ai, Kala'ayam, Shabaka, La'a, Tazara'ai, La Kala'ayam, Wabagad, Kala'ayam, Sha'ai Tanaya, Salakia, Tanaza, La'a, Ya'ailaha, Ailayaka, verse 20, Wa'aka, Wa'a Yash, Kaya, Yashakab, Ata, Asha, Shakaba, Zara'ai, Wahawa, Shapaka, Nakarapah, La'ayash, Wahapadaha, La'a, Napadaf, Awa, Kapash, La'a, Nathana, Salakia, Nathan, La'a, Bakoraf, Tahaza, La'a, Yawamafwa, Kaya, La'a, Kapash.
Kapasha.
Yeah, Kapasha.
So, yeah. No, 20, 28. No, verse 13 to 20. You know, you come to that.
Yeah,
Thing about the,
okay.
no, well, it's like you're going to them now. When you read it, to the first line, you come from 9. Over verses, you come at the third to 9. And I stop at 19. That's what we're going on. But we counted, you counted, no one check with
Like, yeah. So, yeah, right, the English.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 13. Thou shalt not defraud from thy neighbor's rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with these all night until morning. Verse 14. Thou shalt not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shalt fear thy power. I am the Most High.
Pause, Baba Bishop, right? If I may after this. It's like today, that kicks today. How much million views on our channel, and that is, you know, thing like donkey, this thing now. I wanted to Jack Donkey now on YouTube and all that, you know. That's more making commerce of what the Lord said not to do. You know what I mean? No brother, and that is big loud, give. You know what I mean? When cursing the deaf, punishing the deaf because you can't hear, so you can't defend yourself. Stumbling down before the blind fall, kill yourself or something. Sorry. That's it. Go ahead. Continue.
Verse 15. You shall not do no unrighteousness in judgments. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbors. Verse 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Most High. Verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt not in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
We did again, Baba Kusha, but the other part they adding a word now. We did over Baba Kusha.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy neighbor in thy heart.
So brother, so look, I never seen neighbor, but seen brother in the sun.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt not in any wise.
It's saying not or saying thou shalt. Thou shalt.
Thou shalt.
No, I don't know. Anything that I'm not there. We did again about Kusha.
17?
Yeah. Thou shalt.
The same not on this one.
Is it not?
Yeah.
What trouble is this? Alright. Yeah, thou shalt. Let's make sure. Thou shalt in any wise. Not right here now. No, not at the start, in the middle of the verse.
Yeah, in the middle.
Yeah, right at the middle of the verse. Go ahead. Thou shalt. It's saying thou shalt not now, but that's supposed to be thou shalt. You know, some of them they just put them Bible and them, you know, but I ain't sure. It's in the middle of the verse. Yeah, no, I'm saying not. No, it's saying thou shalt.
Yeah, thou shalt
not. It have not. That's it. Yeah. Read it again.
Thou shalt not. Thou shalt not.
That one not there.
It's 17?
Yeah, right there. Look at it. The ink might be a little bit too small now.
No. Right? Same different lines as well.
No, not the start. Not even, yeah. Thou shalt not, but thou shalt. In any wise rebuke thy neighbor. Thou shalt in any wise, not thou shalt not, but thou shalt in any wise. Which means we shall then, we shall do. Correct neighbor. But then, you know, like it's like children, you know, you see them doing some off, you know what I mean? You don't suddenly put them aside, can't say, yeah.
Alright, put on Salak here, put on the 17 on what I have here. Right? I don't know if on the app it's really different.
Right.
But what I see here, the 17 says, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt not in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Yes?
Yeah.
But it will
not suffer him.
And then now able to? Wow,
yes,
look at that. Like no, because I'm balling it from a long time now. I know it's thou shalt.
Nah.
Thou shalt in any wise. Remember, it making sense then. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke neighbor, which means it giving the instruction to rebuke neighbor, not rebuke neighbor.
Now, in this case, on the first part of it, saying, top part, at the beginning of this, saying, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart, and thou shalt in any wise.
That's all good for cancel. That's it.
So, in this case, you should not, you shalt in any wise.
Right.
So, which means you're not supposed to be in the aspect of
hating anybody in your heart.
Yeah. rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
That's right.
So you're not supposed to do anything that is out of sorts.
That's right.
Against him.
Oh, but what it's saying in this verse though, Baruch, if I may just point in a little bit then, right? Let me read it from this side, right? Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise, in any case then, rebuke or correct thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So then continue, you know?
Yeah.
Do everything that off now.
That's right.
Answer.
Continue.
Verse 18, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Most High. Verse 19, you shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed, neither shall a garment mingle of linen and woolen come upon thee.
So, you know, this again, these scriptures once more continue to emphasize brotherhood. Because brotherhood is the main thing that these scriptures is trying to keep among each other. Right? Starting on from verse 13, right, it says, thou shalt not defraud thy neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning. So this basically letting you know that if for any reason you hire your brother to do a job, right? You're supposed to pay him. Remember, at the end of the day, he has a family to take care of himself. So don't say, well, here, I will pay him next week, as we just say. You understand? You're belly full. You feed your family. You say, here, this money, you know, you thinking about your bill to pay, but not knowing this man work hard for you. And you're supposed to pay him one time. Pay him his money, he'll take his money, and he will do whatever he wants with it. Whether he taking care of his family, he will take a drink, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But do not defraud him. You understand? Or doing that. And the defrauding part also comes into play where don't cheat him. You tell him here what, you're getting 150 a day. You come and say, well, I'd say 125 then. And you know you're trying to hit them at 619 or whatever it is. Thank you, God.
Hey, because the way it's very heavy, you know, because sometimes the job ain't go as planned or whatever the case, but the agreement was, yes, and they pay the brother this amount for the day now. Right? And the next thing they like to do, well, this is especially from the oppressors, and we always see them coming from this standpoint. Why they withhold, especially people back pay. People who work on like a good instance to show it is like the people back pay, but they're thinking about not even paying a bill. They studying how I get to nobody money to make more money. And it's always alignment with greed. You know, because at that time in Leviticus here, we formed a nation. And already the priests and them, you know, collecting the monies and then distributing to whoever need and all that. You know, so it was a common practice in that time to know it, but because of the mind of the oppressor and the greed, especially I saw it for Iran. Remember, he ain't paying the China Israel, so they watching slavery now, they turn over money. So now they're picking up the same nasty habit and looking at how greed, you know, how I get to know about the money, I go get, now you can lay down a little longer, you know, or you're going to go take out some goods, like things to eat. You know what I mean? And then I'll say, well, boys, that's something I problem with the money now. So that's going back to the fourth part. You're going to lie now and say, well, you know, that's something that is some more important to get. He's just watching how he could possibly make more money. And Satan and Hebrew, no, he just trying to say, you know, I think I'm not putting the importance of understanding that I need to give that money to the man it owed to, you know? So, yeah, that's usually the case.
So that's something as simple as that. And I will take for granted even when it comes to our tithes. That's something that is very critical. And that tithes money is going towards helping the nation.
Correct.
So I mean, situations doesn't always be perfect, right? But as much as possible, try not to delay or defraud it, because that those monies is payable to the Most High.
Correct.
So go and help what? The nation.
That's right.
All these are different little things that we have to be mindful of.
Correct.
Be aware. Do not defraud your brother by keeping his wages away or robbing him his just due.
Right.
And really always bear in mind that it's me. Put yourself in that position and really try to, you know, use that brotherly aspect.
Correct.
Right? And different aspects of talking about thou shalt not curse the deaf, put his stumbling block before the blind, right? Obviously, we have there's the two aspects of it, right? Now we're looking at the blind cannot see, right? So you're putting someone in front of you, and the deaf cannot hear. A curse is a punishment, right? You understand? Thou shalt not curse. Then you talking about telling your mother so and so, right? That curse is the aspect of you punishing somebody who can't hear or understand something, or somebody who might be able to see something. Right. If you look at it on a spiritual aspect, right? A brother may not have knowledge of certain things, and because of that, you're punishing him for something that he's probably unaware of. Right. And the oppressors always do that. They have laws and rules and stuff that people are unaware of, and people get caught, and you punish them severely for it. So all these are different things again dealing with brotherhood. Correct. The scriptures continue to go into, from 13 right down to 19, they're really showing, how to deal with your neighbor. They say, verse 15 especially says, thou shalt not unrighteously, you shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shall thou judge thy neighbor. So, in this case here, this is talking about if you're rich, you're a politician, higher state official, whatever, or he's a poor man, but is your brethren. You can't do that, right? Especially in the I.S.U.P.K under command of GEN.YAHANNA. He could be your blood brother. He could be your brother who you only was in Hebrew Academy. You understand? When it comes to a righteous judgment, that you're supposed to. Right. The right thing is the right thing. The wrong thing is the wrong thing. You're supposed to have enough brotherhood to judge your brother righteously, whether it be something that is up in upliftment where that he gets his just due, or if it's in the judgment where he did something wrong and he has to get what the consequences of that. Yeah. And so that is what
it's the only thing is that you're absolutely right about that, you know what I mean? And not only that, too, is the instruction. This is your guideline for your nation, that belongs to us. And this is a beautiful thing, because now brothers and sisters getting an opportunity to see what the world, will look like in the future, and also what life's supposed to be regularly, every day.
I just one more thing I want to add before we continue. Verse 19 says, in terms of they're not taking vengeance or avenging, you understand, on your own. Because sometimes in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community, especially in the Black community, we see where that is prevalent with all this black and black crime. And that is solely because they're taking vengeance into your own hand without proper judgment. Because when you emotionally so quote unquote want to take judgment, sometimes you miss a lot of things that you didn't see. Right. So you may incorrectly assess a situation and cast judgment based on that. Right. Verse 19 specifically says, verse 18 says, thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Sometimes a brother do you wrong, right? But he did you wrong, and there's a place of judgment for that. So you go before the judge, and you get your retribution up with that. Proper counsel, proper judgment. But you're not supposed to hold that grudge now against your brother, or hate your brother, as we say in your heart. Right. Because at the end of the day, he is your brother. That is why again so much black and black crime. This one killed my father, this one killed my brethren. And you hate this person or this person's family for generations. It's war. And generational war killing each other of our war. Something that could have been settled generations ago. Correct. You understand? And all these are things that we have to be mindful of. And really keeping that clear mind. That is the only way we can be able to love each other. We see it where Israel was against Judah in split. You understand? Generations of civil war between each other. No difference at all.
Right.
So all these are things that we have been mindful of, and really keep that brotherhood in check.
So like if I may add to what you say there, because before making war, your counsel.
Right.
Just them same exact examples I want to talk about fathers and them, because look, for years, right? Let's say somebody ended up in a battle, they wasn't there, whatever, or it was of the some type of offense, and somebody is wrong, right? But you're now saying something there which is important, that the just, punishment happen, so that both sides could see, all right, this is how we could settle. You understand? If I was wrong, you understand, I'm wrong, and then I face the consequences, right? So that now everybody else in have to get up in it. Now generations will not do it, and just killing out our own forces. When we're supposed to have, you understand, a formidable nation and an army, well instructed and well established then. Now because of that, we facing it and getting raped, you understand, getting locked in cages. We without a name, you understand, without resources, we have natural resources on the land, and we can't utilize it because we don't, we're not together, we don't have alliance, and we're not working according to instruction.
That's right.
So we have no council going on, so there's destruction and more, Yeah, that's it.
That's interesting. All right, so we continue reading.
That's it. Where's the part? Verse 20, right?
Yes, start at verse 20.
All right, that's it. Right. Wa Ayash Kaya Yasha Yash Yashakab Salakia Asha Shaka Bata Salakia Shakabat Salak. So what I say, yeah? Zara'ai Waha Shapak Ha Naka Rapak La'ayash Salakia Waha Padaha La'a Napa Dataha Awa Apasha La'a Nathan Laha Bakwa Kata Taha Yaha La'a Yawama Tawa Kaya La'a Apasha Waha Baya'a Asha Mawa Laya Awaya Slakia Hawaha Patak Salakia Ahala Mawa Aida. Could be more Aida Salakia Ayala Asham verse 22 Waka Para Ayla Yawa Akahan priest Ba'a Yalla Asham Lapanya Yahweh Kata Atawa Salakia. Asha Kata Wana Salak Lawa Maka Tawa Asha Kata. Verse 23. Taba Awa Al Ha Arataza Wana Ta'ai Tama Kala Aitaza Ma'a Kala Wa'ai Ralatham Salakia Ira Latawa Para Yawa Shalash Shanyam Salakia Yaha Lakam Salakia Lakama Ira Layam La'a Ya'a Kala. Verse 24. Baba Shanya Shanha Salakia Ara Bara Aita Ayahaya Kal Salakia Ara Yawa Padash Halawa Layam Laya Hawaha. Verse 25. Waba Shanha Hakam Yashata Ta'a Kalawa Para Yawa Salakia Laha Saya Saya. The answer. The water. Lakama Taba Wa'a Tawa Anya Yahweh Alaha Yakam. Verse 26. La'a Ta'a Kalawa I Adam La'a Tana Kashawa Salakia Wala'a Ta'ai Wana Nawa. Verse 27. La'a Salakia. Right. Yeah. Okay, let's check again. Salakia. That's right.
Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 20. Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 20. And whosoever lieth carnally with a woman that is a bondmaid, betrothed to an husband, and not at all redeemed, nor freedom given her, she shall be scorched. They shall not be put to death, because she was not free. Verse 21.
So like, if I may add to that, and you see the principle behind it, because you're teaching, your sisters them to be dishonorable. So that was a real good example of how the Lord was watch things now. Because that sisters in the world, they might say, they might get the understanding that sex is not marriage, but they want to be hopping around talking about 10 different men and seeing the best one or the best one win on this kind of garbage. When you're not putting no effort into committing yourself to nothing, you commit yourself to school. You might be, I know you probably was a whole in your mentality with education. I don't know, you might be hop around with you, but that is not how you do any type of something stable, some good by doing that shippiness, So it's like, I like the example the most I put them to have, what I mean? You will be scored, you will be beaten, or but most likely you get beaten, to show you that you don't do that, what I mean? Don't have that kind of dishonorable way of doing things. Yeah, you wife, you understand, you didn't put to that, but think about it, you follow, and then instead of you thinking you get away then. I ain't nothing wrong, the first thing, women, childish behavior, so the carnal aspect then, I ain't nothing physically wrong. Instead of doing that, you follow, do that in the first place. Just set a proper example of how this should carry about itself. Yeah. And brothers as well, so that brothers ain't gonna think, she married, and I'll go behind it still. Nah, she betrothed, she promised to somebody, Yeah.
Verse 21. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Most High, unto the door of the tabernacles of the congregation, even a ram for a trespass offering. Verse 22. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering before the Most High for his sin which he had done, and the sin which he had done shall be forgiven him. Verse 23. And when you shall come into the land, and shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then you shall count the fruits thereof as uncircumcised. 3 years shall it be as uncircumcised unto you. It shall not be eaten of. Verse 24. But in the 4th year, all the fruit thereof shall be holy, to praise the Most High with all. Verse 25. And in the 5th year shall you eat of the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you. In the increase thereof, I am the Most High your power. Verse 26. You shall not eat anything which is with the blood, neither shall you use enchantment nor observe times.
Most times we see here a few things that, again, going into the aspect of brotherhood and really keeping the standard of how we're supposed to do each other, as well as things that we will see or do from observing other people around, other nations. Right, so verse 23 says, and when ye shall come into the land, right? Come into the land, meaning the lands that you would inherit, after you are conquered from the other nations, right? And shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then ye shall count the fruit thereof as uncircumcised. And it being uncircumcised means that the food will be unclean for us to be able to eat. You understand? So you allow the tree, you're not supposed to eat any fruit thereof of those trees, right? 3 years shall it be as uncircumcised unto you, right? And it shall not be eaten of, right? But unto the 4th year, all the fruit thereof shall be a holy praise unto the Lord withal. So on the 4th year, the fruit that comes from it, you're supposed to give that to the Most High, right? As that would be the first fruit of all your increase, right? So that's how that one had to go to the Most High. And then verse 25 says, and in the 5th year shall ye eat the fruit thereof, and it shall that it may yield unto you the increase thereof. I am the Lord your power. And I really show more on the 5th year. He said, yeah, all right, this is yours now. Eat and enjoy. This is something to the fruits of your labor. Like that. And he's saying here, I am the Lord your God. And again, this is just another, definition and understanding of even expressing who the Lord's name is. As you know, the Lord's name is Yahweh, not I am. And that's why he's saying plainly, he said, I am who? Yahweh, thy power.
Right.
Power means the authority, the judge, ruler. That's why it means Alahaya, right? Alahayam. In this case, we're talking about, he is the power, right? And verse 26, he says, you shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment in your observed times. So again, all this is about what we have learned in Egypt. We cannot destroy all these things that we learned from the Egyptians, but the Egyptians used to do these exact same things. Observing times, drinking of blood, and all this is to what? Again, keep us focused from not following all these things that the other nations will do. Also to protect us physically as well as spiritually. Drinking blood, as you know, blood carries a lot of diseases. You understand? If you drink blood, you can get infected with a lot of stuff. Even now to the day, science has proved, right, that if you come in contact with blood, the contaminants that are in blood can severely affect a person. That's why you're not supposed to do with a woman during her period. Or if another brother gets cut and blood comes on you, you have to be very careful, like this is doing open wounds, and things like that. For the same aspect of diseases. All these are things that we had to be wary of. And these things are not by chance in the scripture. Same thing with animals. The blood of the animal, you're not supposed to drink any of it. But they say the life is what? In the blood. That's why this is when I say the life is in the blood, everything that was nutritional wise or otherwise that helps the body work is transferred in the blood, which is also the diseases or other parasites or anything that will be contained in that. So you have to be worried about things.
Hey, so if I may add too, looking at the aspect of I think it's verse 23, right? When they come into the land with regards to the food that plant, and the Lord showing you then, like that was scripture in Apocrypha too, when they said to eat something like don't reach out there and first then. Just don't have that kind of greedy mentality about grabby everything. As soon as it comes, you rush into not take on it. Nah, don't be on that. You wanted to have, a very, I think it's obviously that to say now he's an aristocrat, to have an aristocratic approach now.
That's right.
You don't want to be that kind of that common mind, then,
some dignity.
Yeah, that's some dignity about yourself. Don't let people as well put you in that kind of pathway. Because that is all the Egyptian men, they greedy for everything. Everything is lost. As soon as the day available, I'm going to grab it now. Give it some time, let get some time to ripe. The same thing with that woman, give her some time to grow. Same thing with that brother, give him some time to grow before you can use them in anything. Same thing with that sister, before you can use them in anything, Like a doctor, this time, 10 years and all that to get a doctor, they get seasoned in something. The same thing with your food, you want to care about yourself, You want to, and I like that vibe, you need to keep it across the border, what I mean? Top notch now. And is that when you get back in our people become lost that value altogether. Not being royalty, It's all right, and then if I'm mistaken too, right? But this from my experience, I could possibly say that, right? When I put the first year, and it now start being, it doesn't be as sweet, maybe as 2 years, 3 years down the road. It doesn't get that, it doesn't come to fullness yet, man. So like get some time here to mature, so it's still green, man.
This one first. I see you continue reading in the book of Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 27. La'a faqapa fa'atha ra'ashakun wala'a tashaqayatha fa'atha zakwan naka. Verse 28. Washarat Lanapash La'a Tata Nawa Babasharakan Wakata Ba Ko'ai La'a Ta Tanawa, Bakam, Selaki Bakam, and Yahweh, Selaki and Yahweh, La Ta Kala La, Bafka, La Hazana Waf, Wala Fazana, Rataza, Wamala Aha, Rataza, Zamaha, Usteti, Ba, Slake Shabath, Taya, Kashamarawa, Wa Makwadashia, Faya Ra'awa, Amiya Yahweh, 51, Allah, Selake Al, Tapanawa, La'a, Pa'abaf,
That's like I said,
Selake,
I ain't never said.
Al, Pa'abaf, Wa Allah, Ayada, Ainayam, Al, Taba, Pashawa, Latama, Aha, Baham, and Yahweh, Alahayakam, verse 32. Mapanya, Shaya Baha, Takwa Wam, Wahadara, Panya, Zakwan, Waya Ra'ata, Ma'Allah, Hayaka, and Yahweh, verse 33. Wakaya, Yagawa, say Yagawa, Ataka, Igara, Ba'a, Ratazaka, La'a, Thawanawa, Atawa, I think that's it for the tree.
All right.
Yeah.
That's it. All right.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 27. You shall not wrong the corners of your head, neither shalt thou mark the corners of thy bed. Verse 28. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any. I am the Most High. Verse 29. Do not prostitute thy daughters to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness. Verse 30. You shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Most High. 1. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Most High, your power. Verse 32. Thou shalt rise up before hoary heads and honor the face of old men and fear thy power. I am the Most High. Verse 33. And if a stranger sojourn with thee in your land, you shall not vex him.
That's it.
Yeah, go ahead.
How is it? If you're not add anything, sorry, you know. Yeah, man.
Most of it is pretty straightforward. All right, talking about marking the corners of your bed, talking about taking your inox, right, and squaring up your bed and all kind of stuff. All those are practices of the Egyptians. We're not supposed to scrape your head ball. If you have natural bed here, Now, there's a difference between natural boiling and somebody taking a razor and just scraping it for no apparent reason, right? So we're not supposed to scrape our heads, right? Bald, just like what the Egyptians used to do. Right. The Egyptians detested having hair on their body, so they used to shave themselves bald and then after put on a wig. Right? So all those are things that Egyptians used to do. So we're not supposed to follow those customs. Most of these laws was to really remove the Egyptian mindset that we have. Right. Just like now in the I.S.U.P.K and the command in GEN.YAHANNA, we removing the Americanism, Trinidadism, all your isms, and from all the different lands that we live in and the culture. So the whole Western mindset and thinking, we in the I.S.U.P.K and the command in GEN.YAHANNA remove that. Why? Because this is something that is scriptural, what we're supposed to do. You understand? To follow the ways, follow the laws, the commandments, and the Most High will remove Egypt from our system. Right? And this is what these laws do. Because we're not supposed to smoke weed. Right? In the I.S.U.P.K and the command in GEN.YAHANNA, we follow these laws. We no longer smoke weed. We no longer run a horse. We no longer are drug dealers. You understand? Whoremongers. Because all these are things that are done now here in so-called Egypt, so-called Babylon, that we're in right now in this world system right now. All these are different things that we have to try to understand when we come into this truth. But as a thing,
also one other thing, right? And just if I'm not mistaken, another Pharaoh that come after the one that deal with Joseph, remember, deal with them ill. Right. Because he didn't remember Pharaoh and he deal with us bad. Right. But the scripture showing you as well now how the Lord reiterating them. Right, so before the whole year, so the older men, you respect them, give them respect, because this place that full of confusion, Egypt at that time, all kind of different things. That's why they sleep with man, the father, wife, and them kind of thing. You know, respect, So rise up to maintain that. Then so rise up before the whole year. The old person come in the room, you give them the seat, type of way. That type of royalty, then and you honor your honor people. Also honor like your parents and they say too, honor your parents. If you don't do that, you get stoned. All them different punishments to show you how to keep that order and how to keep dignity among your people and that. So yeah.
And also talk about not making those things a prostitute. Yeah. Don't sell your daughter off to men, different men. Right. You understand? Just for your gain. Right. I just claim prostitution and say we bring what? May the land become full of wickedness. You understand? Also talk about keeping the Sabbath day and keeping it holy. Right. And also talk about people going up against or following familiar spirits. And wizardry and witchcraft. Right. And all these are things we're talking about. A wizard or a witch in those times was a drug dealer. Right. You understand? Don't be a drug dealer to people. Right. You understand? Don't go to familiar spirits. Don't follow these things that these other nations will do. Which would be we would call in the neighborhood to be a man, to be a woman. And they believe or they're thinking that they could raise dead. And you can talk to this one and talk to that one and get your love potion and get your loved one back. Just bring $500. You understand? And you have a white man telling you he can remove black magic, or East Indian man telling you he can remove a curse from you. Right. All these kind of folly. Right. That the Christian church follow, because the Christian church in itself is a joke. Right. Because if persons say that they are Christian and they follow the Most High God and that believe in Christ, why are you going to Raj down in some hole somewhere, right? Or Moraconox, or some kind of something Muruga, right? Because why? You really did never believe in the Most High God. That's right. You never believed in Christ. Otherwise, you have to follow these scriptures, right, and do exactly what you're supposed to. I'm right. Right. So that will answer. Yes, sir. I'm right. So you continue reading. All right.
Okay, so that's it, right? This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 19 and verse 84, right? Zarak, Makam, Yaha, Lakam, right? Hagar, Haga, Atakam, Wa'a, Haba, Lawa, Kama, Waka, Kaya, Garayam, Salakia. Haya, Yatham, Salakia. Ba'a, Rata, Ba, Aratasa. Matasa, Rayam, Anya, Yahweh, Alahayakam, verse 35, La'a, Ta'ai, Shawa, Aiwala, Bama, Shapat, Bama, Bamadaha, Bamada, Salakia, Bama, Shakwal, Baba, Masha, Baraha, Ma'a, Zanaya, Tazadak, Abanya, Salakia, Tazadak, Ayapat, Tazadak, Waha, Gana, Tazadak, Yaha, Lakam, Anya, Yahweh, Alahayakam, Asha, Hawa, Taza'a, Taya, Atakam, Ma'arataza, Salakia, Mataza, Rayam, Matazariam, right, verse 37, Waha, Washa, Salakia, Mara, Tam, Kala, Takwa, Taya, Salakia, Wata, Kala, Masha, Pataya, Wa'ai, Shayatam, Salakia, Wa'ai, Shayatam, Atam, Anya, Yahweh. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 1. Waya, Dabara, Yahweh, Allah, Slakia Al, Masha, La'ama, verse 2. Wa'ala, Anya, Yasha, Yashara'ala, Yasha'al, Ta'ama, Ayash, Mabanya, Yasha'ala, Amana, Aga, Ba Yasha'ala, Asha, Yatan, Maza, Ra'aiwa, Lama, Laka, Mawat, Yawa, Mata, Aim, Ha'arataza, Ya, Raga, Mahawa, Ba'a, Na, verse 3. Wa'a, Anya, Atan, At, Panya, Ba'arash, Salakia. Haha, Waha, Kaya, Kara, Kaya, Atawa, Makwa, Rabah, Salakia. Aimawa, Kaya, Maza, Ra'aiwa, Nathan, Lamalaka, Lama Aina, Tama'a, Makwa, Dashaya, Wala, Kalaka, Kalala, Salakia, Sham, Kodashia, yeah, and that was Thursday with the Gazan Street.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 34. But the stranger that dwelleth with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and thou shalt love him as thyself. For we were strangers in the land of Egypt. I am the Most High your power. Verse 35. You shall do no unrighteousness in judgment in the mitre yard, in weight or in measure. Verse 36. Just balance, just weights, it's just effort. And it's just sin shall you have. I am the Most High your power, which brought you out of the land of Egypt. Verse 37. Therefore shall you observe all my statutes and all my judgments and do them. I am the Most High. Verse Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 1. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, verse 2, again, thou shalt say to the children of Israel, whosoever he be of the children of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourn in Israel, that giveth any of his seed unto Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. Verse 3. And I will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from among his people, because he had given of his seed unto Molech, to defile my sanctuary, and to profane my holy name.
So you see once more again, Musa giving some very strict examples, right? Again, all this is about brotherhood. Verse 34 talking about, so but the stranger that dwelling with you shall be unto you as one born among you. And again, this more or less talking about, not talking about this, talking about a brother who is living in another land. The other treat him as the same way as if he was born in your land. Right. So again, using the example, a brother from the US come down here, I must treat him as if he born and grew up with me. Right. No difference. You understand? We must have that same type of brother with the so-called stranger, a brother who I do not know from another land, but he is of the children of Israel. Right? And it's also talking about, we shouldn't treat him off because we were treated off whilst we were in Egypt. And so don't treat him like an Egyptian. Don't treat your brother like he's an Egyptian. Treat him like a brother, because not because you don't know him or you grew up together, that doesn't mean you can't treat him the way he's supposed to be treated, like one of your own. Right? Also, when you look at verse 65 says, you shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meat yard, or we will call like meter yard, right? Meter yard in weight or in measurement. Just balances, just weights, it just IFA, it just him shall we have. I am the Lord your God. And again, all is talking about not robbing your brother. Because when we look at merchants, you understand, typical example we will have down here. When you market to buy goods, the weights they would use to weigh your goods, some of them is shave off. You understand? Or some of them would add. So like actually about add weight.
Right.
So you have, let's say you have this phone. This phone is supposed to weigh 1 pound. Right? For it to weigh 1 pound, you might have it shaped particularly and shave off some. So when the person say they want a pound, and you put this in the balance, you win really less than what you're supposed to get. So if I'm using this to measure pumpkin, it's less than a pound. So when I put a piece of pumpkin, I will say, nah, this is a pound here, but it's really less than a pound. And you paying more, the customer paying more for a weight that they're not getting. And you're talking about same thing, you cut a piece of cloth, you say 3 feet or 1 foot, you have 10 inches. And you know you're robbing your brother 2 inches of that cloth. You understand? And this is what it's talking about. Talk about not defrauding or robbing your brother. All this is only purely about brotherhood in the nation of Israel. You understand? You're not supposed to rob each other. You're not supposed to mix. I like to call mixing garment. You tell this man is 100% cotton. When you catch yourself, there's some other thing, fiber, coconut husk, leave inside the coat. When this man paid for genuine leather, they gave him pleather, or they gave him something else. Right? So it's about not defrauding your brother. Because $100 a yard for leather, they give him something, but he's still paying $100. He wait for 2 days and bust up. You understand? That's robbery. There is no brotherhood at all. And this is what it's dealing with. It's dealing with brotherhood. Again, amongst each other, right? Also talking about us giving our seed unto Molech, which is our children, right? We are not to follow the customs of these heathens.
Right.
We are not supposed to be celebrating Christmas, Easter, Pagwa, Diwali, All Saints Day. We're not supposed to be doing these things. But in this case, the Molech, I think that's one of the gods of the Canaanites, right? They used to take that a big idol, right? Of the shape of a cow or a calf. And they used to have like a burning furnace. And they would sacrifice, they open the belly of this furnace and put the child, sacrifice the child in that furnace to that god Molech. Right? And that was the kind of demonic thing that these nations would do for their gods. When we try to follow these things now, when they bring it up to today, one last time you're going to Hajj and you're going to kiss a rock because you're following Islam. You understand? Or you're doing some other abominable thing because we are following Hinduism, homosexuality, and all these things that are being done, all because we follow other gods.
So if I may add to it, it's the same too, right? Well, that's from that aspect come back, right? Because at that time, remember, Satan still had power, but people didn't know that. Satan, you know, gave Satan a certain amount of power to do things on the earth. So, you know, they're thinking, you know, this is the way to go to get riches fast. You know, give me the fast road. They ain't trying to plant no land, they ain't trying to work as no blacksmith or nothing like that. They ain't trying to do no construction work. They trying to get fast. I want to ship up in the game, I got a contract. You know what I mean? So, bam, they want to put the baby inside there, and that inhumane thing they do. You know, so the Lord definitely showing you. See that shippiness, the abortion clinic, they get, you understand, they call it a degree, and they get multiple degrees, and that goes slowly down on all kind of garbage. Like, this is supposed to be commended as well. This is stuff who Nike dropped in the Olympics, you understand? All that day, it's just your person talking on their mind, and they don't have somebody, or they have support. You know what I mean? To hold, they have to let you all know, you know what I mean? But you have support in the I.S.U.P.K and the Command and General. That's right. You understand? Don't throw away your babies. Don't throw away your army. You understand? Your brother that could protect you. You understand? Your uncle that could come back. All the men that you follow that black sisters or sisters and of different parts of the world, right? Hispanic sisters not saying, you know, they don't get the protection in the country and all that because we throw them away. The bright minds, you know what I mean? The warriors and them, they bring about it in the clinics. So they can never be raised up, you know what I mean? They can never have that force. And that dignity among ourselves, they treat each other with that respect. For them to grow up or to see that we have value in ourselves, you know what I mean? Right. It's following up to the person. That sister there is one of the ways you follow. She's not a statistic. She's showing you that it could be done. And belly brand and all that. You just need to know that there's a support system in place. Without that, you'll be hopeless. You follow, but the Lord showing you here that you always deal as a nation and not as individuals. We have individual efforts to make as a team. It's a team effort. You follow, but at the end of it, it's an entire race that you belong to. That's right. You follow the most powerful race on the face of the planet. So don't worry about your babies. You know what I mean? And brothers and sisters, if you know somebody that that may be thinking about it, they talk that way, find some kind of way, to help them to come and ask questions. Let the experts handle it, let the generals and the captains and men have experience and the situation like this. You might be able to do it, but I ain't say that you can't pass them on to the right people. All right? That's right.
So we continue reading in the book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 4. Wa'amma ha'aylam ya'ayla yamwa alma ha'arataza ay yanayaham Mana ha-ayash ha-hawa selaka ha-hawa ha-hawa mazara aywa lamaka selaka lamala laka labala sali labala fiya amaya atawa isfar wa Salakia wa Shamathia Aniya Kunya by Ayash Ha Hawa Wabama Shapa Kayaf Salakia Wabama Shapa Katawa wa Akarafia Atawa wa Ata Ka Hazanaya Akarayawa Lazanawa Akaria Hamalak Makora Imam the 6 Wahana Pash Ashab Tapana Allah Salati Al Ha'ara Ha'abaf Wala'a Hayada Aymayam Lazanath Akarayaham Wanata Salati Wanatan Faya Anya Ani and Slake Vanapash, Ha Hawa'a, Wa Ha Rafia, Tawa, Makora, Aimuwa, verse 7, Wa Hata Slake, Wa Hata Padashtam, Wa Hayash Yatham, Kodashia, Kaya, Aniya, Yahweh, Alahayakum, with 8, Wa Shama Ratham, Kakwa Kaya, Wa Aisha Yatham, Atham, Aniya, Yahweh, Mokodash come. Verse 9. Kaya Ayash Asha Yakolala Abayawa Wata, Amawa, Mawaf, Yawama, Abayawa, Amawa, Kolala, Damayawa, Bawa.
Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 4. And if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man, when you give it of his seed unto Molech, and kill him not. Verse 5. Then I will set my face against that man and against his family, and will cut him off, and all that go a whoring after him to commit whoredom with Molech from among their people. Verse 6. And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards to go a whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people. Verse 7. Sanctify yourselves therefore, and be you holy, for I am the Lord your power. Verse 8. And you shall keep my statutes and do them. I am the Lord which sanctify you.
And pause right there, what you said. If I may say, right?
Yeah.
That's how the way the Most High is talking now. Like, you know, down here, you always perceive things a little battle, you know, like battle and dance, sort of them thing. You know, sanctify yourself, like, ready yourself then, you know, organize yourself, you know. I the Most High that, you know, making sure that I the Most High sanctifying you, but organize yourself then, you give your one and then. But that's how you say it now, you know, that's black talk now, see, this Bible be too bad. Yeah, I mean,
Very much so.
you can't say that, right? Yeah, man. You don't want to get shot unless you're going to ask something, sir.
That's everything on after verse 9?
Verse 9. For everyone that curseth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. He had cursed his father or his mother, his blood shall be upon him.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. With the Messiah only, that's it. After that. So again, once more, you're seeing where there are a lot of things that, you know, we had to be mindful of. And the scripture showing here, it says, and if, verse 5 says, then I will set my face against that man. So anybody who follow the customs of these other nations, in this case, we're talking about Molech, but it will be any customs that you have. Right? The Most High say he will what? Turn his face against you. Right? And he will cut you off from amongst the people. So he let you know what they want. If you follow in these other people, I will kill you. Plain and simple. Cutting you off from your people means he will destroy you and your family or wherever else you go. So, for instance, a good example was the man who took the Babylonish garment. That instruction, he killed him, killed his wife, killed his dog, the cat, he bring the whole house, everything. And the Most High destroyed. And a lot of people think that the Most High don't have the ability to do that. But the Most High is working in many different ways. So a fella might be good, and all of a sudden, you lost the work, all of a sudden, the child gets sick, all of a sudden, accident, somebody dead, all of a sudden, the house burned down, and he bring him right down to zero. That's how the Most High is operating. So don't feel it's just, you know, some magic trick. But the Most High is a real and living power that we had to be mindful of. And not only that, it goes on further. Verse 6 says, and the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, right, and wizards, and go whoring after them, even he should set his face against, right, talking about, you know, same thing, going and following all these customs, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, you're saying he's an atheist, which is still a Christian. All these things are talking about us. But something that is very specific that I want to highlight. We're talking about the man who turned his face, right, from not seeing or not dealing with the man who committed the act. He even more wicked. So you see your brother, in this case, following this witchcraft, doing these abominable things. But you know what we just say? That's not my business. That is one of the wickedest things. That is probably one of the most deceitful things. You more wicked than the man who do any act. You understand? Because you see your brother committing rape. You understand? You see your brother doing all selling drugs.
Right.
You understand? And you say what? Once my child not getting entertained, once he come by me and thief, I good. But you see him thieving the other neighbor stuff.
Right.
But you ain't saying nothing. You understand? But this talking about, you dealing in righteousness with your brother.
Right.
And that righteousness is what? Correcting him. That righteousness isn't what? Letting him know, hey, this way doing here,
Right.
it's not good.
Right.
We're talking about suffering. You don't suffer a witch to live. Because when this man starts selling drugs in there, but what do you think going to happen? Crime going to, because the person who is selling drugs to, when they are hooked to that drugs, what going to happen? They go and steal to get more drugs.
Right.
Or they may rape or murder when they go and steal.
Right.
You understand? So all these things increase when you suffer a witch to live.
Right.
Or in this case, a drug dealer. No, we're not saying to go and kill any drug dealer.
Right.
We have laws for that.
Right.
But when you see these things that pop up in your neighborhood, that show up in your sphere, don't say that in my business.
Right.
You have to address it. The men in the community had to deal with it one time and deal with it in that way so that that wickedness don't spread. So you see somebody's a child molester, don't say because he molests my child, I go sin up. Right. That witchcraft. Don't do that. You had to deal with that one time. Everybody had to deal with that. So if you see a man doing these abominable things, same thing with homosexuality, them things don't sit. These things are not supposed to be in our communities. So when we see it, we address it according to how the law and the spirit of the law, how we supposed to deal with it. No longer want to take nothing and chop off nobody's head. But the spirit of the law says here what? This we had to deal with this in a certain manner. And we get counsel, we get advice, and we go according to the laws of the land that we're in right now in this captivity, and we address it. There are means and ways that a homosexual will know, don't deal with this here. A drug dealer will know, don't come and sell no drugs in this community. Say your brother. A whoremonger, an adulterer, all these are things that we can deal with. Our father, a man who is an adulterer, right? He will either be a murderer or he will be murdered.
Yeah, correct.
And the reason for that is because that vengeance of that man who is wrong, you understand, would be the judgment and the motive will be upon that man. His blood will be on his head, right? Because it will be another man's property.
Yeah, so that can, if the man end up getting catch up with them, that disease surely will.
That's right. The judgment is still to come.
Correct.
That is that abomination, that plague, that sin will be upon his head.
And the sad thing about that is if that one catch up with you now, other people can get involved in that because everybody so everybody just passing that disease and they're just going around. So all the different things in the middle that is not a business, it now begin to be a plague and it become a culture. That is how it is our culture today, and it begin to spread. And it's trying to cover that. That is it. That is it. Yeah, the politician answer because they saying, that is not my business.
That's right.
Yeah.
Corruption.
Correct. Because remember, it's like whoever votes, I playing for my portion. I only playing for a seat. I only care about the seat, their seat is not about service. It may appear so, but when you look at the actions of what it is do, it's not like that. They have no accountability system because when they do crime, what they do, they get locked up. No, the still on the seat and themselves. And here, but there's some who do that and all of that, and the commission inquiry going on for thousands of years, and that's nothing out there. You follow? That is not the system of the most side. That is not what he gave to govern no people. You follow? These is just charlatan, just like Christian church. But the same thing they do. No punishment, no. You understand? They're not required to lift up to our standard. It's not enforced.
Yeah, I understand personally. And with that, this brings us to the end of the Sabbath service. Say Majam.
That's it. What is it?
Sir? Sir?
Shalom to Israel.
But everything there, but it's not too tight in the
You know, so about it.
all right, nice. All right.
So, sir?
That's it. All right, it's going to be loud screen as usual. So, clap. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Abanaw.
Abanaw.
Shabashimaya.
Shabashimaya.
Kodash.
Kodash.
I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K.
Yahawah.
Yahawah.
Malakaka.
Naba'a.
Naba'a. Tizaka.
Tizaka.
I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K.
Ba'aratisa.
Allah.
Allah.
I.S.U.P.K.
Mashimaya. Tananaw. Akam. Ka. Yawam. Masalakna. Kabawatna. Masalakna. Kabawatinaw. Wala'a. Kabaya'ayna. Walasayawa. Abad. Awshayna. Ayan. Ra. Ya. Naka. Amalaka. Wa'al. Atabara. Ayulami. Aman.
We just say it on English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahawah, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. As it is in heaven, give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it.
All right, this is really Hebrew first.
Yahawah.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushai.
Rabbanaw. I.S.U.P.K. Abaya. Safari. Barak. Rafa. Agan. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. Wala Aman.
You say another power in English. Lord, in the name of Yahushua, there was the power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, power to cleanse the leper, power to raise the dead, power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. So be it.
All right, Psalms 83. Psalm 121. Oh, yeah, no, that's not the blessed right before. I ain't the Bible, sir. All right. Is the attack in the Hebrew first? Yahawah. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. Babakasha. Tananaw. Aka. Rafa. Kalmakala. Kalmanawa. Aka. Lataha. Kamadazaria. Aka. Lakwaya. Amate. Aka. Arakwa. Atamahal. Garshad. Ba'ashem Yahushai. Wala Aman.
I always say, he is Lord, in the name of Yahushua, please give us a power to heal all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, to cleanse the leper, to raise the dead, to unclean spirits, cast them out, in the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it.
That's it. All right, this message really in Hebrew first. Yahawah. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. Rabbanaw. Abaya. Safari. Barak. Rafa. Agan. Ba'ashem. Yahushai. Wala
English, we said, Lord, in the name of Yahushua, bless us, and Israel, and the school, bless, heal, shield, protect, loved ones, in the name of Yahushua, thank you, so be it.
All right, this is Psalm 121 in the Hebrew first. Ashara. Ayanya. Ahahari. Mayan. Ba'a. Isaiah. Ma'arin. Yahawah. Aisha. Shamayam. Wa'aratisa. Alifan. Amawat. Agalka. Ali Nawam. Shamaka.
Ana,
Ana,
La'a,
La'a,
Yanawam,
Yanawam,
Wala,
Wala'a,
Ya.S.H.U.P.K,
Ya.S.H.U.P.K,
Shawama,
Shawama,
Ya.SHALAM,
Ya.SHALAM,
Yahaw,
Yahaw,
Samaka,
Samaka,
Yahaw,
Yahaw,
Zalka,
Zalka,
Aliya,
Aliya,
Yamenta,
Yamenta,
Yawamam,
Yawamam,
Ashmash,
Ashmash,
Ayakaka,
Ya.K.A,
Oriya,
Oriya,
Malayala,
Malayala,
Yahaw,
Yahaw,
Ashmaka,
Ashmaka,
Kara,
Kara,
Yashma,
Yashma,
Akmakoska,
After
Yahaw,
Yahaw,
Yashma,
Yashma,
Zatka,
Zatka,
Abawaaka,
Wa'aka,
Naika,
Naika,
Ra'i,
Ra'i,
Aywalam.
Aywalam. And this is 73 in English. That's it. In English, so like someone coming up. I will lift up my eyes to the hills. Whence cometh my help? My help comes from the Most High, which made heaven and earth. Will not suffer thy foot to be moved. That keepeth thee. Will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel. Will not slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is the shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day. Nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee. The Lord shall do all evil. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in. From this time forth and even forevermore.
Well, this is Slovakia, 1973 in Hebrew. Alahaya, Adam Ayalaka, Al-Takarash, Al-Tashakwa, Al-Kayahana, Awayabika, Yahamayawan, Ash, Alamaka, Iwayamwa, Sawala, Wayaka, Ya'aitazawa, Ada Zapawanyaka, Amawa, Makawa, Lakagidam, Nagawia, Wala'a, Yazaka, Shamyashal, Aiwada, Kaya, Na'aitazawa, Naba, Yakaro, Ailaka, Maria, Nakaratu, Ahali, Adawam, Wa, Yashama, Silake, Wa, Yashama, Alaham, Maria, Yakaratu, Ahali, sorry, Silake, Mawa'aba, Wahagari, Naba, Aimawan, Aimala, Alasha, Amishabia, Azawa, Yamashawa, Nalawa, Aimam, Ayawa, Zerawa, right? Labanilawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Umadia, Asaya, Sarah, Kayabia, Banagawa, Wayashua, Nashamarwa, Ba'ayanda Arab, Hayawa, Daman, Ma'adama, Shayatamo, Lada, Yamawa, Kaira, Wakazahaba, Wakazaba, Wakatuzal, Manai, Kana Sayakam, Asha, Amawa, Nayarasha, Danawa, Nawa, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayakam, Galgala, Akwash, Yaro, Tahash, Taba Ira, Wakalahab, Talahat, Arayam, Kantaradakma, Masairaka, Masalafak, Tabahalam, Mala'a, Panyaram, Malawan, Ya, Aposhua, Shamga, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Waya, Mahalwa, Aidai, Waya Kapa, Waya Kapawa, Waya, Abaria, Abarwa, Wayada Aiwa, Kaya Ata, Shamka, Yahaw, Labaka, Ayawa, Alkalha, Aratusa,
We see here now in English, Psalm 3. Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O God.
And be not still, O God.
For lo, thy enemies,
thy enemies,
make us a mob.
make us a mob.
And they that hate thee,
And they that hate
have
thee,
lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel
counsel
against thy people,
against thy people,
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
against thy hidden
They have
ones.
said,
They have said,
no one let us cut them off.
let us cut them off.
Being a nation,
Be the nation,
in the name of Israel,
in the name of Israel.
we no more remember.
We no more remember us.
For they have consulted together.
They have consulted.
They are confederate against
They
them.
are confederate against
How
me.
many of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, of Moab,
Moab,
and the Hagarim, Baal, Ammon, Amalek, and the Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre, Asir, is also joined with them. They have opened the children of Lot, do unto them, unto the Midianites, to Sisera, as to Jabin, broke up his son, which perished at Endor. They came as donkey good, their nobles, like Horeb, like Zee, yea, all their princes, as the Baal, and as Zaluma, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God, in possession. Oh my God, make them like a wheel, as the stone before the wind, as the flames set, as the fire burning the wood, as the flames set the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Lord, let them be confounded, troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is your house, the Most High, Psalm. And Israelites give a courtesy salute. I'm Shabbat, Majum, the Rock, Yahweh Hashem Yoshai Rakata, Yamata, class dismissed. Okay. Yeah, so what I did.